Hello, I'm Archbishop Christopher Coyne, and you're watching Coffee with the Archbishop. And joining me today is our regular interlocutor, Mr. David Elliott.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
How's your Lent going?
It's going well.
Yeah.
You know, it's so far. I'm sticking with what I said I'd do.
Okay,
and,
that's good.
You know, working forward. And this is still early when we're filming this, so. But I don't see any reason why I won't be able to carry through on it what I put myself to.
Good.
Commit myself to. So
That's good. Now, you know, I have a question for you today that is sort of germane to the last episode we shot about Lenten sacrifices. You know, you'd be amazed. I get the question a lot during Lent. What is the ruling on fake meat? I think maybe
first of all, fake meat. But just the idea of fake meat, it's like fake shrimp or something like that. It's like, why would you do that?
Bioengineer, or what is it like? It's like 3D printed. I don't know exactly how they get it to be of that consistency. But have you ever had fake meat?
No, but some of the guys that I live with, two of them were on a kick, and they said that the beef isn't too bad, but then they tried the chicken McNuggets, and they just said it was nasty.
Well, so I think what people are trying to do during Lent, and I don't want to assume the worst about their motivations, but I think maybe they see a little loophole here, where obviously we're not supposed to eat meat during Lent, but if you're
Friday,
right on Friday, if you're going to have an Impossible Patty or Beyond Burger, is that meat? I mean, technically it's not, but you know what? Before you answer that question, while you ponder it, shall we perhaps take a bite of an Impossible Whopper?
and I had no idea this is happening, so I would have had Diet Coke or something.
Well, you mean
Is there something I could, if I don't like it, can I just like spit it out or something?
No, it's part of your Lenten sacrifice. You have to swallow.
It's not like taste. It's not like a wine tasting or anything like that, where you just kind of taste it, then you can kind of.
This one's no mayo. See, no mayo. That's for me.
Okay.
Yours actually seemingly has mayo oozing out of it a little bit. You know, I was telling Zach earlier.
I wish we filmed this on Friday.
But then you might be doing the same thing that
I
you
guess.
might feel like people should.
I guess
be
is
doing.
it like what's your intention? Do you consider it like a salad then?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we're gonna. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's take a bite.
First of all, it's round. It's got some sear marks. It does look like a beef patty.
It's flame broiled, as all burgers at BK are, unless that's like Sharpie marker or something. I don't know.
Well, you could flame broil a piece of leather too.
Anything?
It doesn't make it taste any better.
Right.
It's got all the fixings.
It looks a little rubbery, wouldn't you say? It looks a little.
I don't know. No. It's good. So this is a Whopper.
I was telling Zach, I've never in my life had a Whopper or a Big Mac.
As I say, so this is a Whopper.
This is a first for me.
So I used to say that was a lie. Boy, that's a Whopper.
No.
Cheers. I guess so.
Is there no cheese on that?
Maybe on the bottom? No, there's no cheese. I didn't get any cheese.
Me neither.
All right, maybe that's not bad. It's texturally it feels like a burger. That's probably some of the problem with some of these veggie burgers.
Yeah,
they don't feel like
no, they just feel like beans. Yeah,
yeah. There's the texture is not.
Also do horrible things to your GI tract.
The taste isn't bad either.
It kind of tastes like a Burger King burger. I'm not gonna lie. Out of 10, what do you give it?
Well, first of all, I got to stop because I got to fast for mass soon.
True.
As a non-meat product, as a vegetarian product, I give it a 10 out of 10.
Okay, it is pretty close.
As something that would I choose this, and if I was at Burger King, I'd go to the regular burger side just because I eat burgers. I don't see the need.
Sure.
You know, there are people who say it takes just as much energy and waste to make this thing as it does to have it real beef.
Waste is all part of the American dream.
It's like a hybrid car.
Right. But okay, so getting back to the question at hand, do you think it's appropriate for someone to sort of use this loophole, exploit this loophole, and have a burger like this on a Friday? Or if they were to do that, are they sort of missing the point?
Well, I'd say, it's just so many circumstances. Say you're out and you're traveling and we end up in a Burger King and you can't have any meat, you can't have any chicken, you can't have any beef, and you don't want the fish, and you say, okay, I can just have fries. But okay, this would be a reasonable substitute, But your intention is really still to try and keep the fast,
Right?
The fasting from beef. If your intention is to just get around it in a kind of, twisting the law type thing, and say, well, I'm going to go around it because by doing this, and I'm not really trying to keep the letter of the law. I think honestly, the whole prohibition against meat on Friday is just one that we should keep, even in a kind of fake situation like this. It's like eating lobster on Friday, because you can't have beef, you're going to have lobster. I mean, that's kind of defeats the whole purpose, isn't it?
Right. It does. As a matter of fact, I recall distinctly one Lent. It was actually last Lent. It was the first Friday. And I had ordered from Supreme Seafood down the road a big thing of clam strips with tartar sauce and fries. And I ate that. And afterwards I said, I don't know if I sacrificed anything just now. I just had this big, rich plate of fried food,
When I grew up, we kept the Fridays and Lent strictly, and there's no meat, and also days of abstinence. But also before I turned 5 or 6, we didn't eat any Friday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
I know people who observe that year round.
But my parents used to. My mother was very creative in what she would cook on a Friday, and the things that she would do. So we'd, on one Friday we'd have toast with asparagus, because asparagus is spring vegetable.
Sure.
And she'd make like spaghetti with just tomatoes and big batches of that, and fish sticks. We love the fish sticks. Fish cakes. We had the fish cakes, but you can't get any more because they don't. Gordon's doesn't make the canned cod anymore. I love that.
See, I had Gorton's on Friday. I had the triangle ones. It's basically one big fish stick.
They used to make them. They used to have canned cod.
Okay.
And fish, and my mother would mix it with potatoes and all that, and then she'd fry it, and it was
kind of like a seafood casserole kind of thing. Or?
No, it was like patties.
Oh, like patties. Okay.
And she'd serve that with the spaghetti.
Oh,
and that was the way. It wasn't that expensive. It was a cheap meal. But then they stopped doing it. So now you have to go and get the bacalao. And because you have to rinse it out, and then finally that's the only way I can make the cakes now, which I love to do, but it's a lot of work.
Maybe that'll be an upcoming episode of Cooking with the Archbishop.
Well, yeah, there's all kinds of other things. One of the other episodes we want to do is Coffee with the Archbishop, and I'm going to show you how I do. There's 3 or 4 different ways in which I do coffee, depending on the day.
That'll be fun. We're looking forward to that one.
Yeah. So I just think you stay with the letter of the law. But if people have, if they have a meatless, it's Friday, and they have a piece of non-meat type of patty, and you're just doing it because you're hungry and you're not doing it to get around, go for it.
Okay. But it shouldn't be done to sort of get around it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That's good advice. I think that's good advice for the people.
What's the intention? Why are you doing it? And say, well, I can't have beef, but I'm going to have this, and it's really close to beef.
Yeah.
So.
You're really just cheating yourself at that point, because then you're not going to get as much out of your Lenten experience, perhaps.
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right.
I have to hope to finish because it was only that good. I think I might even try and finish it.
Good.
Okay.
All right.
Now I just need a Diet Coke, though.
Right.
You're watching Coffee with the Archbishop. I'm Archbishop Coyne. God bless.